Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. So today I thought I would film now a review on our MSC World Europa cruise that we did at the end of last year. Now it was technically its first inaugural sailing with passengers, having been kind of a hotel during the Qatar World Cup, but this was the first sailing, a 4-night from Doha to Dubai, and I thought I'd take you through now kind of our review. In terms of covering that, I'm going to go through some good points and cover some of the kind of negative or kind of aspects that we didn't like, but I'll give you kind of my opinion of the ship, what works really well, and then kind of give you an overall kind of opinion as to how it compares to some of our previous cruises with MSC and other cruise lines. So join me now for a new video here on the channel, our MSC World Europa review.
Welcome back to the channel.
Ready for another cruise? Let's go!
So before I get into the video, I firstly wanted to say a big thank you for all of the support so far on the MSC World Europa videos. A lot of people have been asking questions, commenting, and just kind of interacting with them, and it's really nice to see. So thank you very much. If you are new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button down below. We have plenty of videos on MSC World Europa already on the channel and also coming as well in the future, including a bar guide, dining guide, as well as much more. So there's lots of exciting content, but now let's get into the review then. And that's the first good point, the actual ship itself. Now the ship is absolutely beautiful. As with a lot of MSC cruise ships, it's really nice design. It's really pretty and immaculate throughout. It's really clean, and it's just a really pretty place to be. The kind of main atrium area of the ship is lovely. The outdoor spaces have been utilised really well, and this is the first ship in MSC's fleet that has this kind of Y-shaped arch. So you've got the kind of middle promenade down the back of the ship there, the World Promenade as it's known on World Europa, and that obviously allows you to have this kind of big outdoor space with the Venom Drop slide that I'll get onto a little bit later, as well as some new outdoor dining venues, and then obviously you've got the kind of pools and stuff up on the top decks either side as well. So it allows you to kind of create this really unique kind of space and what have you, kind of got similar vibe to Royal Caribbean and what they've done on a lot of their ships, but this is the first now for MSC World Europa, and it's a really pretty ship. There's lots of lovely different spaces and stuff. All the bars have been utilised really well. There's some new additions in terms of restaurants and bars as well. They've been really nice additions to the ship, and you've got a lot of outdoor spaces both for the bars, restaurants, and kind of just hangout spots, and that's a really nice thing, I think. Previous MSC ships, they've always been known for being very pretty, very glamorous. You've got often the kind of sparkly staircases and stuff like that, and World Europa is no exception. That is found in the yacht club area, but the actual kind of ship design itself is just as you expect with MSC. Really pretty, well designed, lots of lovely kind of bar areas, hangout spots, and overall you'll absolutely love this ship. It really is immaculate. So continuing on with the kind of family feel aspect of the ship obviously also then has the Aqua Park and as well as the kind of splash area and what have you. You've got the kind of little rollerblade arena, which they also use for dodgems, as well as other activities, including a drone academy, which is very cool. And obviously you've got loads of kind of different bits and bobs in the kids club to do. So it really is a lovely family ship. You've got so much to do, individually. You can go off and do stuff, as a couple, or as different activities and bits and bobs here and there, but you can also come together as a family and enjoy the water park for the day, or go by the main pool, or do all these other different bits and bobs. You can never kind of feel like you have to kind of separate too much. There's lots to enjoy together, as well as obviously on your own if you wanted to. But the ship is really so much fun. I love the Aqua Park area. It's not quite as big as kind of other MSC ships. So for example, Seashore has this big kind of pirate themed area in the center of the ship, whereas this one's kind of more off to the side and what have you for the little ones. But it's perfectly doable for little kids and stuff. It's a little splash area, lots of water effects and what have you, so they love that and they really enjoyed that. And the slides are really good fun as well. You've got a drop slide, you've got some tube slides, there's also a VR slide as well. So again, new kind of additions coming here to the ship, and they're all really nice as well to enjoy. Moving on next now to my next kind of positive about the ship. So a really good point here with the shows on board. Now for our particular cruise, they had a variety of different performances. They had kind of like an Adele tribute act. They had this kind of like recycled show, it was called Echo, where it was kind of all the props and stuff were made from recycled materials. That was just a really good kind of music show, as well as a few other different bits and bobs, which I'll kind of keep secret so you can obviously get onto the ship, find out and enjoy. But I was really impressed with these shows. On previous ships, they entertainment wasn't quite for us. They were still very enjoyable, performance is still very good, but just not quite up to kind of what we prefer and look for in a performance and what have you. But the shows on MSC World Europa at the minute are absolutely fantastic. The performers are really, really good, the singing's really nice, all the sets and stuff, so overall some really, really lovely shows here. Definitely recommend booking them nice and early when you get on board the ship. You can do that from your MSC For Me app or on the different TV screens by the list and stuff. Just use your cruise card, tap, and you can select which show and time you want and obviously get a slot and reservation. But that was really, really nice as well. Moving now on to a new addition again for a World Europa, and that is Venom Drop. Now, Venom Drop is the dry slide that you would have seen some photos of, and this is the kind of Cobra themed dried slide that you've got going from deck 18 down to deck 9 or 8, I can't remember now quite off the top of my head, but this slide was really, really good fun. It's a completely free activity. You do have to go and sign a waiver, and it gives you a little wristband, but that clears you for the water park, Venom Drop, and some other bits and bobs as well. And then you just head to Venom Drop, wait nicely and patiently, and then you can go down the slide. And it is so much fun. I was so impressed actually and surprised at how quick it went. It kind of started off really kind of, you know, decent speed, really fun and enjoyable. And then all of a sudden it was like click and it just goes and it's super fast. You come whooshing out the end. Everyone I saw, including me, was laughing, giggling, having an absolutely great time. And again, this is a free activity, so you can do it as much or as little as you want, and I definitely recommend checking it out. Again, it's new for MSC World Europa thanks to this kind of gap in the middle of the ship, the World Promenade. Absolutely amazing. Definitely recommend checking that out. It's really, really lovely. So moving on now towards another thing that I really loved about this ship, and that was exploring all the new spaces on board. Now, World Europa had the kind of old favourites in terms of like Butcher's Cut, Ola, you had the Jean-Philippe chocolate shop and stuff, you know, all the kind of MSC favourites that you know and love. But I was very surprised at just how many new spaces were on board this ship. I'd seen a couple of kind of videos and bits and bobs prior to going, but was still really surprised actually at what I discovered. So you've got the Coffee Emporium, you've got the Pescaderia, the new kind of seafood restaurant outside. You've got Raj Polo Tea House, which again is another new addition, and most of these have outdoor seating as well, which is absolutely fantastic. You've got the Garden Kitchen restaurant as well as Elixir, which is a mixology bar, and all these spaces offer you something you know, slightly different. I really like with the mixology bar Elixir that you've got this kind of really nice kind of dark intimate setting. You've got kind of lots of nice candles and what have you. There's outdoor seating if you want to sit outside, and the bartenders are happy to kind of sit and explain, you know, what it's all about, you know, what the kind of purpose is behind the bar. And you can sit and have a lovely drink and a cocktail in the evening. Obviously there's music and stuff playing in the background, or you can kind of go for something a little bit calmer, maybe during the daytime, and go to the tea house. And again, you can sit down, you can have an afternoon tea, you can have a really nice fresh cup of tea from, you know, various different parts of the world. You know, and again, it's just slightly different settings that we're not kind of used to seeing on an MSC ship, and they're covering all bases. You've got, you know, a coffee shop, you've got tea, you've got kind of mixology bar if you prefer that, or if you're not really a cocktail person, you've got the pub and what have you. Now the pub has 3 of their own beers that are brewed on board, and again you can see the kind of you know, vessels and stuff that they're brewing these beers in, and that's really nice to see. You've got a gin bar on top of that, so again there's so much on this ship that regardless of what your preference is, there's something for everyone. And I think that's really important for cruising, because it means you can chop and change each night, go around to the different venues and obviously explore, you know, different drinks and cocktails and stuff on all these different menus. And I really like that. I was very, very impressed with these new spaces. Again, all really, really pretty, beautifully designed. Old favourites, returning, like Ola, Butcher's Cup for the restaurants. You got the Fizz Champagne Bar as well, which is an old favourite. But all these new venues are a welcome addition to World Europa, and I just think they suit the ship really nicely. It's kind of covering all sorts of different bases, and yeah, I mean, I really recommend it. In our kind of dining guide that's on the channel now, link it down in the description. If you click on that, I kind of go through some of the restaurants and stuff in more detail, but I'm really impressed again by the new addition of some of these restaurants. Garden Kitchen is absolutely beautiful. They grow all their own micro herbs on board. Again, you've got a lovely kind of setting, really pretty design, outdoor seating, and I think that's, you know, another fantastic thing. Bear in mind this ship is based at the minute in the UAE, and then moving towards the Mediterranean. You've got the weather to sit outside, so why not? So that's a fantastic thing here about World Europa. Now, with this being a cruise that me and Oliver did, obviously it was just me and him, so we did a bit of a balance and stuff. We did some activities together. Oliver went and enjoyed some kids club kind of time, and we also did a lot of kind of activities in kids club together, and I was really impressed actually with the kids club on board World Europa. We've done a few different cruise lines now, and we have done MSC before as well, and the kids clubs have always been very good. We did Seashore back in August, and the kids club was great. They had a variety of different activities running, movies, they had kind of like a Lego session, drawing, arts and crafts, all that kind of stuff. But I think the kids club on World Europa was just kind of taking up another step. The staff were all absolutely fantastic, really friendly, and worked so hard. And what I really liked about the kids club on World Europa was they had these kind of 2 dedicated Lego rooms. They had this kind of big, you know, adult kind of Lego room, if you want to call it, and then the kind of like toddler Duplo kind of Lego area as well. They were both connected, so you could have got a wander between one and the other, and it was great. If you wanted to go in with your little one and, you know, sit and build something for a little bit, you could. So me and Oliver quite often did that. We'd sit and do that after breakfast for a minute, let our kind of food settle, and then maybe we'd go to the pool together for a bit, and then later on come back and he'd go and, you know, do some arts and crafts while I went for a wander, or you know, whatever it may be. And I just think the kids clubs are absolutely fantastic. They've got such a good range of activities, again, for all the different ages. You know, if you've got teenagers, they can play on Xbox and PS5. They've got Drone Academy, there's sports going on, all these lovely activities. And also what's handy about World Europa is quite often when you have the sessions where it goes on into dinner time, they take the little ones and stuff for a meal. On World Europa, the kids area is directly opposite one of the buffets, and you're not having to kind of venture too far or anything. You know your little ones are nearby and safe, and obviously it's easier for the staff then because they've got a shorter journey as well with them. But really impressed there with the kids clubs on board. If you've got little ones, teenagers, anything like that, you've got plenty to do in the kids clubs. You've got the arcade next door, the Formula 1 simulator, all those kind of different bits and bobs. So you'll have an absolutely amazing time with that. Moving on now to my next point, and that is about the rear pool area. Now, there's a few different areas on the ship that we kind of particularly hung out at, but the rear pool was definitely my favourite. So at the back of the ship, you obviously got this Y-shaped aft now, and on the kind of lower decks, you've got the cigar lounge, Sweet Temptation and stuff that I'll get back to in just a minute. And then also on the upper decks, you've then got a pool on the left, a pool on the right, as well as a lovely little bar area. And it was just a really pretty area of the ship to hang out. You could obviously sit and enjoy the pool. You've got the view of the ocean and stuff in the distance. You've got Venom Drop and everyone having fun down there, and it's just, I found that to be my personal favourite area of the ship. You've got all the different sun lounges around. You get, you know, really good access to the sun, but you also got some shade. You've got a bar area, and it's a very short walk to the buffet as well. So you're in a really nice location. Obviously, I know a lot of people quite like the main pool area. We did kind of venture around there a little bit and enjoy it, but I think the rear pool on this ship and the kind of whole kind of Y-shaped aft and stuff is absolutely fantastic. I really love that area of the ship. I really enjoyed kind of hanging out there in the evening, and you know, especially for sail away and stuff, absolutely perfect spot to enjoy. So now I wanted to kind of move on towards kind of food and the food options, dining, all that kind of stuff, because that's a big part of your cruise. Obviously, you know, 3 meals a day, usually breakfast, lunch and dinner, as well as obviously snacks and all that wonderful stuff. But talking then about the food, so starting with the buffet, the buffet food was very good overall. Again, you had a variety of different options for both breakfast, lunch and dinner. With it being a kind of UAE cruise, they were being really good about kind of adhering to the local kind of religions and stuff like that. So you know, they would be very careful about serving certain types of food and what have you, which is really lovely to see. They had lots of different kind of lunch options and what have you. Dinner was very varied, and the kind of buffet and stuff, I liked that for the most part, with the exception of a couple of days, the staff were the ones serving you, which just kind of helps with kind of cleanliness and COVID rules. I know a lot of ships have kind of gone back to you helping yourself. There's kind of good and bad points to both of that, but I personally am a fan of kind of the staff, you know, serving it for you, because it's just a little bit easier and it just kind of keeps things a little bit cleaner. But that's just my personal preference. We did the main dining room a couple of times as well. Again, you've got kind of waiter service and stuff in here, the usual kind of menus and stuff, and again, the food was very good. I was kind of, I think compared to a lot of other cruise lines, particularly Royal Caribbean, the food is very good, but maybe not as good. I think Royal Caribbean still has maybe slightly better buffet just because of the variety and maybe marginally the quality, but it is still very good. If you've got little ones and stuff and you just want a quick easy bite to eat, the buffet is absolutely fantastic. My only kind of couple of kind of negative points with the buffet is obviously because of this Y-shaped aft now, you've got this kind of like two level kind of split buffet, which it works to a point, but I found it really interesting that they weren't kind of in unison, in the sense of what one buffet was serving on one level wasn't the same on the other. So we had times where we went for tea and there wasn't really stuff that I particularly fancied, maybe because I had it for lunch, and then when we kind of went for a walk later on, I'd walk back through the buffet, you know, going towards kids club or something on the upper level, and there'd be totally different food. So it kind of sometimes pays, if you like, to go for a little bit of wander on both levels just to see what's what. I also think the kind of layout or indication of where stuff is wasn't as clear as some other ships. For example, trying to find the pizza on one particular side of the buffet was a little bit difficult. It was kind of walking backwards and forwards. And also the burgers and fries and stuff, usually you've got that section kind of right with the pizza because it's quite popular, particularly for the little ones. But on this particular ship, you had to venture actually towards the pool deck to find the burgers and fries, which is a little bit strange. It was nice because the whole area they've got outside by the pool there, they're cooking it all fresh, which is lovely to see. But obviously if you were sat kind of towards the back of the buffet, you don't necessarily want to have to walk, you know, halfway down the ship just to get a burger and fries and then walk all the way back. But that's a really, really minor point, but it's something I've written down and I thought I'd mention it. Also with kind of, I'm going to mention it on the alongside the buffet now, my other kind of negative with this cruise was just the kind of continuous kind of interruption, if you like, with your meals, in terms of people trying to sell you the dining package or a drinks package. Now for this particular cruise we didn't choose a drinks package just because we chose kind of for a 4-nighter with it just be me and Oliver, we'll just pay as you go, which we're more than happy to. We have done a drinks package in the past and it is very good value, but for this particular one we chose not to. But I was very surprised at the sheer number of staff that you know, are coming up and you're kind of mid-bite of food and they're asking if you're, and I kind of a few times politely said, oh no thank you, we're good, and you kind of still get interrupted and they're like, oh, they're showing you the menu and they're trying to explain. And again, I totally understand they're just trying to do their job here and, you know, upsell the packages they've been asked to, but it becomes just a little bit kind of minor annoying when you're kind of sitting there trying to eat and you've literally just taken a mouthful. You've got, you know, a dining package being thrown at you one side and a drinks package the other. But that's just a very, very minor thing. Did it affect my cruise that much? No. Would it stop me from cruising with them or on World Europa? Absolutely not. But yeah, so that's kind of a couple of points on the dining and stuff. Flip that around though, you've got some absolutely fantastic dining options throughout the rest of the ship, and also compared to previous MSC experiences, the food in the buffet and also the burgers was a lot better. So for Seashore, for example, some of the burgers and stuff weren't particularly great quality. They had been set out a little bit too long, but it was nice to see on World Europa that they were continually being freshly cooked, prepared with all the toppings, put out onto the hot plate and gone almost instantly. And that kind of continues on this new venue, Pizza and Burger, kind of in the main atrium area opposite the fun zone. Where again all the staff there are cooking all this kind of food, you know, pasta, chicken nuggets, burgers, really fresh, and it's being thrown straight out and it's being taken straight away, which is lovely to see. So the other thing that I noticed about World Europa, again this is just a very minor experience, but compared to previous ships, and I'm thinking again of kind of Seashore or maybe even Virtuosa is probably a better one to use. But for example, Virtuosa has the lovely long kind of screen down the main atrium, and as you can see above it, it kind of extends the length of the ship, and as a result of that you get these kind of lovely little kind of shows and stuff playing at various points in the evening. On World Europa you have got this kind of beautiful screen, and it did have a couple of like kind of settings and themes. They had like an ocean one night, and I think there was a jungle one the other day, but it wasn't maybe as utilised as well as on other ships. Part of me wondered if that's by design, because the downside to having this kind of long screen in these shows is that it's then a bottleneck. Everyone's looking up and, you know, blocking kind of walkways. But they've got this really beautiful area on World Europa, this kind of lovely atrium. Again, all these different screens and stuff above you. It would have been maybe nice to see 1 or 2 shows here and there. And in particular, I go back to when the ship was announced, there was a particular kind of space themed display showing, and that looked absolutely breathtaking on the kind of you know, pre-ship build images and what have you. But I didn't see that on this particular cruise. Again, really minor point. The screens and stuff they were displaying and the whole area is still absolutely stunning, and that to look through and walk through. But just a really minor point really that I've put here as a negative. And that was kind of taking me now into a couple more positives I've got written down. The Wi-Fi. on board World Europa I found to be very, very good. We did get the surf and stream package, so we could kind of call back home and browse Instagram and all that kind of stuff, and that worked really, really well actually. Now whether that was because we were in port a lot more, I'm not sure. Obviously when the ship kind of ventures out into open waters and in kind of the various different satellite positions, that might become a little bit kind of downgraded, but with the ship currently kind of doing a lot of port stops, it worked very, very well actually, and I was very impressed with the speeds we got and the quality. So you know, the Wi-Fi was very, very good. Yeah, so that was really nice. And again, other kind of venues and stuff, I'm just going through my notes here. It's just a lovely ship. There's so much you can sit and do and enjoy, so many nice spaces, and you can kind of jump between them. Me and Oliver went to Sweet Temptations, which is the new kind of pancake ice cream kind of shop at the rear of the ship. Again, a new addition for MSC, but a fantastic addition. I love that you've got that World Promenade area, you've got shops and stuff, you've got music and the light show from the palm trees playing, and it's a beautiful area of the ship. We loved walking down there in the evening, seeing all the lights, and then we went and had a milkshake, and that was a fantastic option as well. All the prices are really reasonable for the drinks, for the Wi-Fi, all that kind of stuff, so you're in for a real treat on World Europa. If you haven't kind of seen much videos or photos of it yet already, maybe try and kind of, you know, come away from these videos now or just wait for the excitement to build yourself. But yeah, absolutely loved the cruise. It was really, really nice. So there we have it then, my kind of review of MSC World Europa. Now there really are a lot of positives there, so many more than negatives. The things I had written down for kind of negatives, if you like, are just very, very minor niggles and personal preferences, to be honest. The ship itself, I can't speak positively enough. I think compared to other ships in MSC's fleet, they really are moving in a fantastic direction here. I know that World Europa is the first in a few different ships of this kind of class. I believe the next one is MSC World America, so again they're kind of continuing with this class of ship, with this kind of Y-shaped you know, vessel, and I think they're onto a winner. I think the new the new kind of venues and stuff, the addition of kind of all these family spaces is absolutely fantastic. They've got plenty of pool spaces, the cabins are absolutely beautiful, and I just think they're moving in a really, really fantastic you know, place and what have you. Virtuos from the Seashore, when we've done them, have been great cruises, but I just think World Europa has taken it a step beyond. And to be honest, if I was going to cruise with MSC again, I would definitely be looking at this class of ship. I just think it's absolutely fantastic. You get such great value with MSC, and overall I think, you know, they're really, really moving in a positive direction. They seem to have listened to the feedback of people and they're building on it. You know, they're trying to push themselves, and I think that's shown in this ship. So yeah, absolutely fantastic. But there we have it. Have you got any questions about this particular ship, our cruise, anything like that, then please leave a comment down below. Again, if you have made it this far, I really do appreciate all the support, you know, all the watch time on the videos, and if you could leave a like on it, it would help us out a bunch. We have got plenty of videos coming on MSC World Europa still, including the vlogs to the channel very, very soon. But that's going to be all for this video though. Many thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one. Take care.
Welcome back to the channel.
Ready for another cruise? Let's go!